Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today, well, it's to explore a really singular near-death experience account.
Yeah, this one goes back to 1979, a patient we know as Amera S.
Right. And NDEs often have these profound spiritual elements. We hear about those a lot.
They certainly do. But what makes this case particularly compelling, I think, is how it's anchored
Anchored. How so?
by these, well, shockingly concrete, verifiable details, stuff you can actually check.
Okay. And you mentioned something else, something about saving her life.
Exactly, including a specific piece of knowledge that directly, immediately saved her physical life.
Wow. Okay, so tell us about Amera S back then.
Well, that's another fascinating part. She was just 16 years old in 79.
16 and already a graduate student?
Already studying at the graduate level, yes.
Yeah.
But she faced this acute medical crisis. She ended up in the hospital's life support unit,
What was the issue?
a severe complication. The IV fluids she needed were causing phlebitis, basically inflammation that was rupturing her veins one after another.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It was critical. They were literally running out of places to put the needles.
And what was her mindset? I mean, before the actual NDE happened.
That's key here. The sources say she wasn't fearful, not resisting at all.
Really? Facing something like that?
She apparently knew days ahead of time that she was dying. And she felt, and this is a quote, completely at peace.
Completely at peace. Wow.
She actually welcomed it, described a kind of happy anticipation, like she was going home soon.
Going.
That's the phrase she used. Ready for transcendence, it seems. She was watching her family and the staff, their distress, but from this place of serenity.
So she saw her own death as a reunion.
That seems to be the feeling. And this acceptance, this readiness, it's important context. It might shape the experience itself.
Okay, let's unpack the moment itself then. The physical conditions.
Yeah.
What exactly happened leading up to her passing?
Right, so this is where it gets very specific. She'd been moved to what they called the glass room.
The glass room.
Yeah, the area for the sickest patients, right by the nurse's station.
Yeah.
Because her 5E alarms kept going off constantly.
Makes sense. And the death itself.
It happened one morning.
Ugh.
And interestingly, she was the only patient left in that unit at that moment.
Alone in the life support unit. And you mentioned a trigger, a really specific detail.
Yes, this is quite remarkable. She woke up briefly and overheard the staff talking
About what?
about a solar eclipse. They were saying they'd just take a few minutes, go upstairs to watch it.
A solar eclipse during a medical crisis.
That's what she heard. And after they left, the unit became, as she put it, very silent for a time because she was alone.
Okay.
And then all the alarms went off. She even remembered the different sounds the alarms made, the different intervals.
That silence, then the alarms.
Yeah.
That was the moment.
That signaled the climax of the physical crisis, yes.
And this eclipse detail, it wasn't just a hazy memory, right?
Not at all. This is where the verification comes in. Years later, she's at university, and she happens to walk past an exhibit about solar eclipses. And there it is, the date of the eclipse that happened when she was 16.
What was the date?
February 26, 1979. Seeing that confirmed for her the absolute accuracy of that memory.
Wow.
A memory she said she felt had been repressed somewhat until she saw that visual proof.
So that really grounds the experience. It takes it out of just, subjective feeling and into actual historical time.
Precisely. It provides an unimpeachable anchor.
So in that silence, just as the staff stepped out, her body failed. What did she experience then, when her consciousness detached?
Well, she stated very clearly she left her body. She was existing outside it.
And her awareness, was
Yeah.
it heightened? Different?
She described it as the same level of consciousness and alertness as her normal everyday state. So not suddenly all-knowing, just fully conscious but separate.
Okay, separate. And then the tunnel. We often hear about tunnels.
Yes, but hers is different. This is where her account really stands out from, let's say, the popular narratives.
How so?
She saw a tunnel, but it appeared to be parallel to the floor, and she floated through it feet first.
Feet first. That's specific.
Very, for maybe 20 feet or so.
Hmm?
And she described it as gray, mostly void of light.
Gray, not the brilliant, welcoming light people often talk about.
No, just this gray passage, mostly void of light. No particular visuals inside it.
That really does run counter to a lot of accounts. Was she scared? Was there any urgency?
Absolutely none. She said her internal state was just fine. She felt marvel, relief, a deep calmness.
Marvel.
Yeah, and she emphasizes this. She had no fear of death then, And she still has no fear of death now.
So what was missing compared to other NDEs?
Well, the big things. No brilliant light, no unearthly light, no beings, either deceased relatives or spirits.
Nothing like that.
Nothing. And time didn't seem to speed up or slow down. Thoughts were normal pace. It was just a brief conscious journey, feet first into a neutral gray zone.
The fact that those common elements were missing, it does suggest it wasn't just, cultural expectation playing out.
That's a strong point. It lends a certain weight to the uniqueness of her data, doesn't it?
It really does. But that gray void, it didn't last. Her return was also unique.
It was abrupt. Just like that, she said. She was put back into her body.
Should put back.
Put back. She woke up immediately, and the staff was all around her. Her timeout was over.
Okay, here's where you said it gets really impactful. She didn't just come back feeling peaceful. She came back with something else.
Yes. She came back empowered, with knowledge the medical team didn't have.
What kind of knowledge?
Knowledge of a specific medication, something that could save her life.
She came back with a prescription.
Essentially, yes. She immediately told the staff what they needed to do, what drug to administer.
Now, hang on. A drug the staff was unaware of? How does that work? Was it like a failure on their part, or was this information from somewhere else entirely?
The source material's clear. The staff was unaware of using this particular drug for her specific crisis at that time. Whether it was a known drug used off-label or something less common, they didn't know to use it for.
So the knowledge seemed external.
It certainly appears that way. It challenges our usual understanding of where medical knowledge comes from, doesn't it?
It really does. So did they find it? Did they use it?
They did. It was available right there in the hospital pharmacy. They administered it.
Yeah.
And the source confirms it did indeed end the medical crisis she was in.
Wow. So she was clinically dead, goes into this gray void, comes back with the answer, and it works.
That's the sequence of events reported. Her survival mechanism came directly from the NDE itself.
And you mentioned her background. She wasn't predisposed to expect this.
She described herself as just regular Christian before this. She explicitly stated she did not have any beliefs that would have pre-programmed getting some kind of specific medical download.
So the information felt entirely new, external to her own mind and beliefs?
That seems to be the case. It wasn't just spiritual comfort. It was actionable, life-saving data.
Okay, so beyond that immediate, incredible medical solution, what else did she bring back? You mentioned bigger picture stuff.
Yes. If we connect this to the broader spiritual insights, the experience imparted a vast amount of knowledge. Really clear insights about, well, life before life and life after death.
Okay, like what specifically?
She understood that the soul exists before human incarnation, that it precedes our life here,
And afterwards.
that it returns to beings of love, light, and goodness. She felt she'd be welcomed home with no judgment.
That sounds like incredibly deep knowing, not just, wishful thinking.
It felt like knowledge gained, yes. And with it came this profound sense of unity, like she was one with everything.
One with the world.
Yes, understanding everything that her unique soul has capacity to comprehend in that state. It wasn't limitless knowledge, but everything her soul could grasp.
And did this include insights about God?
Definitely. She realized that knowledge of God is an ever-present part of my being. It wasn't separate. And her conclusion was simple, direct. God is love.
God is love. And that understanding, did it translate into how we should live? Did she get a sense of life's meaning?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very practical, very earthly mandate, actually. It's about consequence, integrity.
How so?
She realized everything matters. Every single moment, every decision we make, it's important. The best way to live love.
Everything matters.
Yes. And she saw it as a tragedy when souls sort of dull their senses to right and wrong. For her, every moral choice, no matter how small, has weight.
And did she feel she had a specific purpose after that?
She did. It felt defined by this new awareness. Her purpose, she felt, was to share comforting knowledge about eternal souls, about hope, especially when human suffering is great,
To offer comfort and hope.
and to hold tight to integrity while doing it. She had this feeling that her fellow humans would one day really desperately need that hope because of suffering yet to come.
That's quite a mission. But you mentioned earlier it came at a cost.
It did. This awareness. It wasn't all bliss. She reported gaining other abilities, psychic, non-ordinary gifts, she called them.
Gifts. That sounds positive.
But she described them explicitly as a burden. She said this enhanced awareness can be a burden.
A burden. How can psychic gifts be a burden? That seems counterintuitive.
I think it was the isolation it created, the loneliness of it.
Hmm.
She really struggled, apparently, with the painful reality of seeing the human capacity to hurt others.
Ah, so seeing things others don't see, including the negative thing.
Exactly. Perceiving herself as fundamentally different. She found it burdensome, lonely. She even questioned why she was here amongst those who do not know right from wrong. That's a heavy thing to carry.
That makes sense. And did people understand when she tried to share this incredible experience? The eclipse? The cure?
Well, that seemed to compound the isolation. When she did try to share it, especially, she said, with spiritual people,
Yeah.
they often found it, quote, rather boring.
Boring. How could it be boring?
Because she didn't bring back the juicy stuff they expected, maybe? No dramatic encounters with angels, no detailed descriptions of heaven, just a gray tunnel and a prescription.
That's disappointing. Did she encounter other strange reactions?
There was one odd incident she mentioned. Strangers approached her and declared she was a walk-in.
A walk-in? What's that?
It's a concept in some New Age circles, the idea that a different soul takes over a body that's been revived.
And what did she think of that?
She rejected it completely. She maintained very clearly she was simply born, she died, and she was sent back to her own body. End of story.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. What does it all mean? We have this account. Clinically dead patient, saved by information seemingly gained during the NDE.
Information about a specific medication, yeah.
And the timing of her death is pinned down by a verifiable historical event, that 1979 solar eclipse the staff went to watch.
Right. Those concrete physical facts are undeniable.
But standing right alongside those facts is this overwhelming, life-changing spiritual knowledge she gained about God, love, the soul's journey.
Knowledge that became permanent, indelible, even if her death was temporary.
So it bridges the physical and the spiritual in a really stark way.
It really does. The indelible mark, I think, is her understanding of the sacredness of life and the importance she placed on returning to the divine, as she put it, with a stainless soul.
A stainless soul. And she remained absolutely certain about the reality of it all.
Completely. She stated it as simple fact. I died and was sent back to my body. This is a fact. The power in Amera's account, I think, is how it manages to confirm the physical world, the eclipse, the medicine, while simultaneously illuminating this vast spiritual reality.
Connected by something as mundane, almost, as a prescription.
Exactly.
So here's a final thought for you, our listeners, to consider. Amera felt her purpose was to share hope, especially for future suffering. Yet when she first tried, her story was dismissed as boring.
Yeah, the value wasn't immediately recognized by the audience she expected would get it.
So was her becoming more private later on, maybe holding back this knowledge? Was that a necessary way to protect something vital until the world was actually ready? Or does it suggest that even life-saving knowledge, confirmed by facts, only truly has value when people are prepared or maybe desperate enough to listen?
Thank you for listening to Borrowed Time NDE Podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a moment of inspiration. Until next time, wishing you an extraordinary and truly wonderful time on your journey through life.